Alright guys, welcome back once again to Brotherhood of the Mutant Collectibles today. Got arguably the most famous of all the mutants, Weapon X, Logan, Wolverine, whatever you want to call him. And if you're a X-Men movie fan like me from way back when in 1999 when the first one came out, and you're a statue collector, obviously, you've been waiting for a 1/4 scale Hugh Jackman Wolverine statue. There was a custom. I owned it. Not a bad statue at all, but it was from the Wolverine movie. And, you know, he's holding a samurai sword. Like I said, pretty good statue, but I think we all were kind of waiting for him to wear the yellow and blue traditional suit. In that movie, there is an alternate ending where he's given the suit at the end, but he never actually wears it. And that was an alternate ending, so it wasn't actually in the film. But finally, all these years later, in Deadpool and Wolverine, we get him in the suit. I loved the movie. Thought it was one of the best MCU movies since, you know, Infinity War, Endgame. And here it is. So obviously Iron Studios known for their 1/10 line, which is great. And they seem to put out absolutely every property ever made in 1/10 scale. But I'm a 1/4 guy, and you know, even way back with the Endgame stuff and Civil War stuff before that I used to own. Just always a great job with likenesses. And even though if I had a nitpick on this, and I have a few, but probably the biggest is that there was no unmasked portrait. He is unmasked for most of the movie, but you do get the chin and the goatee, but would have been nice to get that Hugh Jackman portrait. But yeah, one of the things that always stand out about the Iron Studios 1/4 stuff, like I said, from the Civil War line, the Endgame line, was always the textures on the suit. Suits are always done really well. Paint was always great. Obviously, the parts that look like, you know, armor to the Kevlar, different patterns, the buckles, the straps. And you got some mud on the boots and stuff. Rubble base. I'm guessing this might be something from The Void, if you guys have seen the movie. But it's just a rubble base. Obviously, every rubble base comes complete with fair share of rebar. But base looks great. Another nitpick would be that suit is really clean. I mean, there is some shading and stuff that would probably imply that it was a little dirty, but nothing like what was depicted in the movie. And I mean, from the very beginning, this suit went through some damage, you know. So it is a little clean, but I mean, there's some little wear and tear stuff, but would like to have seen a little bit more. Got the whited out eyes there, you know, which we see once he puts the cowl on. But yeah, I pre-ordered this at the movie theater. I knew they were coming out. They showed them at San Diego Comic-Con, and then the movie came out. We were at the movies, we're watching it, and I'm just like, you know what? The movie stinks. I'm probably not going to want the statue, but the movie was so good. I jumped on it right there. So there is a swap out with this one, and it's the arms cross pose, which I'll show you guys in a sec in some pics. And it's got short sleeves. Not sure in the movie when he took the sleeves off, but we don't actually see that. All of a sudden he just has short sleeves, and it's in the traditional Wolverine arms crossed pose. I think I'll probably keep it like this. You know, the arms cross pose is pretty good, but you know, I have it on a few other statues, and it covers up a lot of this area and a little bit of the chin. So most likely keep it like this. Claws are resin. I don't think anybody uses real metal claws anymore, at least not on licensed pieces, but they look okay. So there is a companion piece for this. I'm gonna take a guess on who it is. So that was another thing that kind of sold it for me. You know, this Wolverine, you know, could easily be a comic version. Doesn't look, you know, movie-ish, but when you get it with Wolverine, obviously you know it's from the movie. Sorry, when you get it with Deadpool, you know it's obviously from the movie, and they look great together. So that was another selling point for me, is how great they look together. So it's pretty much not much in the bells and whistles department going on with this one, but yeah, let's show you the swap out with the arms crossed, and then get Deadpool up on the table and check them out. Then we'll check them out together, what they look like when they're paired up. Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, and I think this is also the first Deadpool quarter scale movie piece. Obviously a lot of great comic book versions of him. I owned a few of those as well. The one on the scooter from Sideshow, then the Heat Seeker one from Sideshow, which was a great statue. And the thing about Deadpool is that the movie version, the suit, is really similar to what we see in the comics. But again, same deal as with Wolverine. Textures are just really great on this piece. I know sometimes we look at comic book pieces and we're like, it's maybe too much texture on it. But I think it works better with movie pieces because we're looking at an actual suit on an actual person from an actual movie. So might work a little bit better. Again, not a lot of battle damage. There is some shading, as you can see on the hood there. Katanas are resin, as are Wolverine's claws, but they look pretty good. It's got those gold accents on there. If you guys remember from the beginning of the movie when he gets suited up. It's a really funny scene. The pouches, the buckles. You know, like I said, all the stuff that Iron Studios is known for. And same Rebel base. Same rebar. But, yeah, just really well done. There you got a Deadpool logo on the gun handle. Nice little touch, you know, so. Really great detail on the gloves. The leather pouches. Guns have some wear and tear on them. I'm a big battle damage guy, you know. But pretty big piece, as he's standing a little bit more straight up than Wolverine was. And maybe Ryan Reynolds is a little taller, I have no idea. But there are no switch outs with this one. What you see is what you get with it. But as I mentioned before, I think the big selling point with both these pieces, as they're both great individually, but I think most people, if you're going to get either one of these, your intention is to pair them up together, because that's where they shine. When you get these two in the display, like I said, if you were a fan of the movie, then, you know, it's probably something you want to pick up. The ES on these, there might be, I think there's 600 of the Wolverine and maybe 500 of Deadpool. So not a ton of them out there. You know, this isn't a Darth Vader mythos scenario with, you know, 5,000 or however many there was. But, you know, so even with some of those Endgame pieces and the Civil War pieces, I know the Black Panther's hard to find. You know, the Falcon is hard to find. The Winter Soldier's, you know, almost impossible to find. So they do tend to disappear after a while. So at least those older pieces did. All right, so like I said, nothing to swap out with this one. He is what he is. So let's get them both on the table and give you guys a shot of that. All right, so here we are. Like I said, this is where it really shines in any display to pair them up together. Obviously with the matching bases. Batman back there just hanging out. And obviously by now it's been out there, it's common knowledge. Little Easter egg when you put the bases together. You get that heart right in the middle. Gotta show some love, right? So pretty cool little touch. So yeah, man, I definitely love these two. Haven't bought a movie piece in a good little while. It's been well over a year, maybe even longer. But if you're a fan of the movie, if you're a fan of these two characters or Hugh Jackman and you've been waiting to see him in that suit, then you might want to consider picking one, or I recommend both of these guys. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging. Hope you enjoyed it. And if anybody has any questions about either one of them, just leave it down in the comments or something. Or catch me on Rogues on every other Wednesday, and I'll try to answer as best I can. But definitely recommend these two. And I do believe they're both in stock at Sideshow. So, all right. Thanks, guys.